You stepped into the night like it owed you something, not rushing, not hiding, just gliding through shadows that seemed to part for you. The streetlights caught your outline, but never your face, and that was the first rule. Let them see the myth, never the man. Sirens wailed somewhere far off, but they weren't for you, not yet. Your enemies were still guessing which corner you'd come from, not realizing you were already inside the room, watching them plot. You leaned against the wall like you had all the time in the world. Every step you took said you'd been here before, lived this moment 100 times in your head. You didn't just survive the streets, you authored them. You walked like a man who knew the ending before the story began. And tonight, another page was about to be written in ink they couldn't wash off. They called you many names, some with fear, some with respect. The streets whispered your story like gospel, a man who vanished in daylight, a shadow that walked through walls, a mind too sharp to trap. They said you weren't born into the game was born for you. Every move felt like it had been planned years ahead. No slip, no doubt. Even your mistakes turned out to be lessons you'd use later. You weren't chasing fame. Fame was chasing you, trying to catch up. And the faster it ran, the further ahead you stayed. People tried to figure you out. Cop or criminal, hero or villain. But you never fit one box. You built your own. You locked it from the inside and swallowed the key. Every rumor fed your legend. Every failed setup made you untouchable. You weren't just part of the story. You were the reason they told it. Survival wasn't luck for you, it was craft. You didn't just stay alive, you stayed in control. Every move had style, every step had weight. You could walk into a setup like it was a red carpet. Smile at the ones holding the knives, let them think they had you, then flip the script before they even knew it changed. Your calm was louder than their threats. You read people like street maps, knew where every dead end was, and you never walked one by accident. Even in chaos, you had rhythm, a way of moving that made danger look like part of the plan. People thought you were fearless. The truth was, you just feared nothing more than losing control. Part 4, outsmarting the game. They set traps. You turned them into doorways. They made rules. You broke them without making noise. You never fought fire with fire. You fought it with the wind. You let enemies get comfortable. Let them believe they were winning. Let them talk too much, drink too much, think too little. And when their guard dropped, that's when you moved. It wasn't speed, it was timing, patience, the kind that drives other people crazy. By the time they blinked, you were gone. And all they had left was questions they'd never get answers to. You didn't just play the game. You made the game doubt itself. You had a code. You didn't write it down. You lived it every day. Loyalty was currency. Betrayal was a death sentence. Never show all your cards, never make the same mistake twice, and never ever let them see you bleed. The code kept you alive. It made your name worth more than gold. It made your silence worth more than noise. You could lose money, lose people, lose ground, Without it, you were just another player. With it, you were untouchable. Your enemies weren't always strangers. Sometimes they shared your table. Sometimes they wore smiles. Betrayal didn't shock you. It just confirmed what you already knew. You never hit back in anger. You hit back in precision. You waited, watched, collected every mistake they made until you had enough to bury them without lifting a shovel. They thought they were hunting you, but every step they took led them deeper into your plan. And when the trap closed, you were already somewhere else, lighting a cigarette, listening to the sound of their empire collapsing. You didn't hide in shadows. You hid in plain sight. One night you were the quiet man in the corner. Next night, the loudest voice in the room. You could be anyone, blend into any crowd, disappear without leaving a trace. Sometimes you didn't even have to leave. You just became invisible by becoming ordinary. Your vanishings became folklore. Your returns became headlines. And each time you left them asking, well, where was he really? Truth was, you were always exactly where you needed to be. Part 8, the turning point. There was a night the walls almost closed in. Too many eyes, too many guns. Even you felt the air change. But you didn't run. You waited for your moment. One slip from them was all it took. A flash of panic in their eyes. A misstep, a dropped guard. You walked out of that storm untouched. Left them standing in the wreckage of their own plan. That night turned your story into something bigger. It wasn't just survival anymore. It was proof you could bend fate itself. Time moved on. Players came and went, but your name stayed, whispered in alleys, written in places where cops never look. You weren't a ghost. You were a lesson, proof that control beats chaos, proof that respect lasts longer than fear. The game changed. The rules shifted. New faces came up fast, but you stayed the same. Same eyes, same mind, same code. Gangsta to the core, from start to finish. The streets never forget. Every move you made left a mark. Every silence spoke louder than words. Some call you a mastermind, some call you a criminal, but all agree you were untouchable. And when they tell the story, they'll remember this. You didn't just move through the game, you owned it, and you never let it own you. Even now, somewhere in the night, they swear they hear footsteps, slow, steady, coming closer, and they wonder if the legend ever really left.